featuring something pretty cool. It's a gift from one of my in-laws. Thanks, Gabe. A wine from Santa Barbara County, technically made in Paso Robles by, well, you can't tell much by the front label, which is pretty stylish to say the least, winery called Desperada. The winemaker is name is Valia, I think. Don't. Sorry, apologies. I think it's Valia. Anyway, this is 100% Sangiovese, 2016 vintage. But what makes it cool is, like a lot of her wines, it's naturally fermented in amphorae, large clay pots, following ancient Roman and Greek methods, and then aged as well in those pots for an extended period of time. And really fascinating little thing. So, as you can tell, it's a pretty intense, dark ruby color, fairly deep, and very viscous as well. Really nice streaming legs on it. And what is hard not to notice is the aroma. Packed, intense, dense, port-like almost, and it's kind of candy-shelled black cherry syrup note. There's lots of floral notes as well, kind of dried violet and herb. Dustiness to it. Almost a honeyed note, kind of like a candied, dried wax note to it as well. And just overall really, really pretty and very, very kind of velvety and brooding in terms of profile, aromatically. On the palate, mostly dry. This is 15.7%, so there might be a little bit of fermentation that was not completely borne through, but still big enough and dry enough to not make you think it's port per se. Acidity is definitely more in the medium territory. It's there, pleasant, but not too high, not too low, not too flat. Touch of a little bit of volatile acidity almost, thanks to the probably warmer fermentation during the amphora and a lack of fermentation temperature control that's there. But it's not unpleasant. It just gives it a nice little twanginess to help kind of clean up that heat of the alcohol, the richness of the fruit. Tannins are definitely Sangiovese tannins. They're medium plus, pretty present, fairly grippy, but ripe tannins, much like you get from other Sangiovese in Santa Barbara County. The body is definitely pushing medium plus to almost full, not port full, but pretty full. And then on the palate, lots of lovely kind of like orange peel, clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, spices that you'd use for baking. And again, that like beautiful black cherry, but not as syrupy as it smelled, more definitely in just a nice ripe black cherry that's almost like splitting. It's so soft and plush. Again, those lovely floral tones just come through as well. And that kind of surrounded by this like pithy waxiness and even notes of honey and wax. It reminds me very much of kind of like a interesting dessert with honey and dark fruit, kind of like a cherry cobbler almost. If you drizzled a little honey on top and threw all those baking spices at it as well. But still dry enough. It's hot. For sure, that 15.7% alcohol is hard to ignore. This is definitely a wine to take your time with, or to throw at a fairly nice peppered steak, or some meat that's fairly rich, or a really rich mushroom dish. Anything with grill marks would be pretty happy here. As well as maybe aged cheddar, with a little bit of funk to it, would be pretty interesting. Mushroom pate, would be pretty nice. Definitely a wine for aging as well. I mean, that acidity and that time in amphora have already kind of tempered it, so that it's at a very happy place, and will just kind of keep evolving over time, even though it is 2016. So pretty darn wild, For Sangiovese, I wouldn't call it Sanjo when I first tasted it for sure, because it doesn't make me think of Italy at all. It's so big and voluptuous and intense, but really quite a good effort. Very good quality for sure, and suitable for aging. So there you go. There's Desperada Sangiovese, made by a winemaker named Vela. Well done.